Some exciting news has just come to Great Britain. So the government has just announced that mandatory digital ID cards will be rolled out by the year 2029. Now, I want to fixate on the year 2029 because it's not just an end of a decade. The year 2030 is a symbolic mark that the World Economic Forum, United Nations, and the EU have all used where all of these sweeping changes are going to be enforced. And it's by my speculation that this is the year where the West will have full control over its citizens. Now, the justification for this digital ID card is apparently immigration. The UK has been struggling for immigration for years, but I believe it's a load of rubbish. I believe the UK is using this digital ID card as a way to have control, to gradually encroach on your personal sovereignty. And as the saying goes, when you take an inch, you can take a mile. At first, they'll tell you it's about immigration, just closing up our borders. Then it'll be about order, then national security, until one day, you don't have any freedom anymore. And for the large swath of the population, they'll just gladly acquiesce, as they always have. Just plod along and follow all the rules. Now, let's just be honest for a second. Will digital ID cards actually stop illegal immigration? The UK struggled with immigration for years. Has it worked? Now, first, the right to work scheme that asks all the employers to check if their employees are legally able to work from the UK, or they face fines. Yet still, thousands of businesses employ illegal immigrants to work for them. Why? Because they want to save money. All companies care about is increasing their profits. Landlords are also expected to check tenants before they move into a property. The NHS is expected to check immigration status. Banks are required to check your immigration status before you open up a bank. Has any of this worked? And the answer is no. All that happened is more bureaucracy for the UK citizens and more immigrants coming into the country illegally every year. And do you really think someone who risked their life on a boat to come to the UK, broken multiple laws, do you think they're really going to be scared of a little digital ID card? And the answer is also no. So it won't stop immigration, but it will give the government an excuse to exert more and more control over us, which was the plan to begin with. The backbone of Great Britain has always been liberty. Everything should be permitted unless explicitly prohibited. And if you think about political thinkers like John Locke, which stood for liberty and freedom, the end of law is to not abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. Or John Stuart Mill, who wrote that over himself, over his body and his mind, the individual is sovereign. Now, if you want to control a nation, you control the mind. Because if you control the mind, you control their behavior. And this digital ID card scheme is a form of psychological manipulation. Because if you have a digital ID card where you know that the government knows exactly what sites you're visiting, what videos you're watching, what you're buying, what your political beliefs are, they are now able to form a profile about you. They want access to your entire digital footprint, exactly where you're going, who you're talking to, what you believe. And it won't just stop with the ID, because for every app that you download, every service you sign up for, we will now ask for that card. They want to know every single thing about you. They want to creep into every facet of your life because they want to have full control over you. And as I said before, once you take an inch, what's stopping them from taking a mile? Now, if you want to look at where this story goes, just have a look at China, a prime example of a surveillance state where there is security cameras on every single corner, where they have a social credit score system, where if you step out of line, you say the wrong thing, your access to certain services could be revoked. You could be denied the right to work. Now, I'm not saying Britain is anywhere near China, but this is where things could go. And I'm saying this early, before 2030, so that we can all prepare ourselves, so we can all know what's coming, so that when the big hoorah finally happens, none of us are shocked. We all saw what was coming 5 years in advance. So you really only have two options. You can either submit to the government and just acquiesce to everything they do. Just be like every non-playable character out there who just blindly follows along and does everything the government tells them to. Or you can regain control of your sovereignty. You can regain control of your freedom. And the best option is to leave. leave the UK, leave America, leave the West, leave anything that is associated with this 2030 agenda, and just move to a country that values your liberty, values your freedom, and don't want to control every facet of your life. Now, my YouTube channel is all built on escaping the West and places that you might want to look at. Places where you can live well for less. Places that don't want to tax the living daylight out of you. And places that still give you more freedom. So if that sounds like you, you might want to hit the subscribe button. And if you want my personal one-on-one help to escaping the UK, then you can book on a call with me below.